And thank you so much for joining us. We're excited today to chat with a person who actually used our Detect and Detox kit, and we're going to go over their chemical exposure report live and allow them to ask us some questions. And our guest is Jennifer Cicci, Integrative Health Practitioner and an advocate for Hugh Grace products. And I'm actually an advisor to Hugh Grace and really appreciate the brand's commitment to clean living, advocacy, and transparency. So speaking of transparency, I'm also really thankful that Jennifer is open to share her results and especially with everyone today. And if you're interested in trying our Detect and Detox kit yourself, you can get a $10 off today with a code BITG. That's for Beauty in the Green, the Instagram handle of Jennifer. So I saw.
Oh, hello. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited for this.
Yes, the same here. Thank you so much for joining and taking the time to do this.
Absolutely.
So before we start, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became an integrative health practitioner.
Sure. So, I feel like a lot of people's journeys start when they get pregnant, right? Because we're very cautious of what we put in and on our body. And I actually, when my son turned 1 and he was teething on the crib rail, I didn't want him ingesting the wood and the paint. So I actually created an organic teething rail cover for babies' cribs, and also organic bedding and organic toys. And so that was kind of my journey into really looking into ingredients and products and things like that. And I saw that, there was just so many diseases, so much cancer. And I feel like we have, the best of the best at our fingertips. And yet everybody's still getting so sick. And so I just wanted to learn as much as I could, and ended up getting my integrated health practitioner license. But I still felt like there was so much more to learn, and came across the Wellness Way. And I don't know if you know what the Wellness Way is, but they look at everything from a different perspective. So they are a wellness clinic that has that fireman and carpenter approach where, if you have like your house is burning down, you have your fireman go in, take out the fire, but then you have your carpenter come in and rebuild that house and repair and then protect it so it doesn't happen again. And so I've just learned so much through the Wellness Way. And then I came across Hugh Grace literally just a month ago. And anyone who doesn't know what Hugh Grace is, it is a family holistic wellness brand that focuses on eliminating endocrine disruptors from their products. And the founders, Ben and Sarah, they struggled with infertility for many, many years. And they come to find that the products they were using, even if they were clean products, they were not hormone safe. And so they decided to pay it forward, started this company, and have people like me to come and advocate for the importance of hormone safe products. And currently we just have skincare because our skin is our largest organ. So they started with the skin, but we are branching out into the vertical markets of supplements and home care this year, which is really exciting. So, and through Hugh and Grace, I found Million Marker. And I was so excited because I am all about testing. I feel like, you do not guess, you test. And I think it's so important, especially for somebody who is trying to conceive, to really find out what is going on inside your body and to make sure that the products you're using are safe. And even if you're not trying to conceive like myself, we just want to live a healthy lifestyle and make sure we're doing the right things so that we don't end up having problems down the road. And so that is how I came across your test and was very excited to get my results.
And the results clearly show that you've been doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. I was really, really happy. And I'm excited because I have a lot of people who come to me for advice, and I'm just like, oh, so I was a little worried. I was actually really, really happy about these results.
So do you mind tell the viewers about the process? Like how did it go at taking the test?
Yeah, it was so easy. So I just downloaded the app, and you have a little daily journal. So you go in and it asks you what you are taking in during the day and what you're putting on your body during the day. And so you just go in and you put what you're eating and the products you're using, and you do a urine test, send that in, and you wait for the results. It was very, very easy.
That's really good to know. Now we can discuss your report. I know you have some questions, even though I know you're doing extremely well, but you have some questions. So I guess I can swap roles with you, let you ask me questions about it.
Yeah. Okay. So my first question, well, first of all, because I have a lot of people who ask me, like, what is the point of taking this test? So if you have somebody who is trying to conceive, why is this test so important?
The reason we really want to promote people taking the test is, again, trying to discover what's inside of your body. Many times people we have many people who already live a clean living lifestyle, but many times there are so many products, there's so much contamination. There's just no way to know that the product is truly safe until you actually test yourself. So that's one reason. The second reason is by taking the test, you kind of understand how your body is detoxing out these chemicals. So we have actually seen people who are not detoxing super well, that on their exposure journal, you can see they're putting inside their body potential contaminants and harmful chemicals, but it's not coming out. So it makes you wonder, okay, where did it go? So for those people, you actually need to pay close attention, not putting extra stuff into your body because your body are just not naturally as good as others getting rid of these things. So these are sort of the two key reasons. And the third reason, we felt it's a good way to kind of urge yourself, start making these changes, especially for people who are trying to conceive, because this is like a really critical timing that, by detoxing, by living a clean lifestyle, you actually improving your sperm quality, your egg quality, your embryo quality. You're creating a really great environment for your unborn baby. At the same time, you kind of start practicing really low tox living. This will be super beneficial for your kid too, as this kid is growing up, because as we know, developmental timing really matters. So the younger you get exposed to these things, the potential detrimental impact it could have. So it just feels that, this is where you get the biggest bang for your bucks. When you're trying to start learning about this detoxing, when you're trying to conceive.
Now, what is the age? How young can you be to take this test?
So right now we're trying to sell to adult only, but if parents consent, their kids can also take it.
Okay. Because I was thinking for my 13-year-old, I'm wondering if this would be a good.
Right.
Great for my son to see the results so he can see, the bad stuff that he's putting in his body. So I actually thinking that. Okay. So
there is actually one limitation though. One limitation with kids taking a test is because so these chemicals that we currently test, there's no safe levels. So what we do is we use the national average, and then also we use our existing marker users to compare. So this gives us an idea of how you're doing. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of data on children.
Okay.
So
got it.
That makes it harder. But you can still understand your level. You can compare with adults. But epidemiological study have shown actually children have way higher exposure than adults.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And I don't know if you can see this, but I want to show my test. So whenever you get your results, you can see they compare you to other million marker users, and you want to be low, which I am, which I'm very happy about. But it goes through, you get so many graphs and so much information in the results. And I love too that, after it goes through it, it gives you options. So it will say, try some of these approved products to use instead of the ones that you're using. So I love that about the test. Okay, so there's some ingredients that were in my products. And again, it honestly wasn't until a month ago that I really truly understood, even green, like these clean products, they can have potential harmful chemicals in them. And so it truly wasn't until a month, because all my products I was using, I literally am starting to get rid of, because I just didn't know. And I think there's so many people who just, for instance, my one product that I had on there, it says free from silicone, parabens, sulfates, mineral oils, phthalates, so artificial color, it says it's like 50 different things that it's free from. But then I go and I look and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like 10 ingredients that are not good in there. So, it is definitely a challenge for everybody to really, and like, it's hard. You don't want to have to go and, look up every single ingredient. So it's definitely hard for somebody who's just trying to live a healthy lifestyle and make sure that they're getting these good ingredients. So one ingredient, dimethicone, that was one that a lot of clean beauty brands use it. A lot of people think that think it's okay to use. So I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
So dimethicone is a really interesting one. It's a silicone. We don't have so all the, ingredients of concern besides the common EDCs we test, we actually don't have a ton of data on these chemicals. And what we really want everyone to take the precautionary approach. That means if we actually see any study in animal or say in human or even potential contamination, chances of potential contamination, we want people to pay attention. If you can avoid, definitely avoid. Dimethicone is interesting. So dimethicone is usually used as a water repellent, like coating in cosmetics. And the biggest issue with dimethicone is contamination. So it's a silicone. So when it's like a large, dimethicone itself has a large molecular weight. So it's not going to penetrate into your skin. It just used topically, it's totally fine. The issue is that many times dimethicone will have contamination of these lower molecular weight silicones, which then can kind of penetrate your skin. So when it's penetrating into your skin, then it accumulates. Then it can't be good. So right now, unless we, actually test the product, there's no way to tell whether this dimethicone in this ingredient is contaminated or not. So as a precautionary, paying attention, taking precautions, like if you can avoid, you should avoid.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay. And then I can never get this word right. Phenoxyethanol.
Oh, phenoxyethanol?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's also a really interesting one. So phenoxyethanol is usually used as preservative. So compared to your typical hormone disruptor preservative like paraben, oxybenzone, phenoxyethanol is actually a lot better. It's a lot better. So it's usually safe to use if it's less than 1%. Most of the cosmetic, formulation should be lower than 1%. But again, unless we test for product, we don't really know. And then it does have concerns in terms of allergy, skin contact dermatitis, these kind of precautions. So if you're not allergic, if you use a product that you didn't have any allergic reaction to, phenoxyethanol is okay, because it's a lot better than, parabens and other things.
Now, what about how they say, we're only using a little bit, right? So there's only a little bit in here. And so my way of thinking is it's a little bit, but you're putting it on every single day.
Exactly.
So, is it best just to stay away from these ingredients?
Yes, it's best to always stay away from it. But because it's really hard to actually formulate cosmetics. And women want to be pretty and we love cosmetics, which is understandable. So using it occasionally, it's okay. I wouldn't be like super stressed out about it. But if you can avoid, you should definitely avoid. Another really good tip is that you usually when you read cosmetic product labels, the ones that label the first, like there's a order to the ingredient label. The ones labeled first are the most used ingredient in a product. So you really want to make sure like phenoxyethanol is like all the way towards the end, like it's only used a little bit. If it's actually like, shows up like the top like 5 or 10 ingredients, then that can be good.
Right. Okay. That's a great tip. Okay, this one I love, and this one I actually learned from Million Marker, tea tree and lavender. And I know that, there's so many parents, and I like essential oils, I've learned a lot in the past month about them. However, you have your parents who are literally bathing their children in this lavender lotion, in the lavender bath, in the it's constant. So I love to hear your take on these.
Okay. Yeah, these two are also tricky. As you probably know, so many clean product use these two as like their main ingredients or their main, fragrance, flavors, and smell. It's really hard to even audit out like these ingredients. And the study is really limited. We only have like 2 or 3 studies, very small sample size, showing that lavender oil and tea tree oil are influencing, especially for male adolescents, development. So I would be very cautious of parents trying to bathe their kids in these ingredients and products, just to pay attention. Again, it's a precautionary principle. The other thing I also want to mention is because it's essential oil, the processing, there's no way how the essential oil is actually processed. If they use food grade processing, grade everything, stainless steel, because the oil needs to be distilled. But if they actually use the equipment that they're using are plastic, just imagine heating up that plastic, everything from these subgrade equipment will actually leach into this oil that you considered as, a premium, like, health beneficial like oil.
Right.
But yet it's completely contaminated. So that's why besides the study, anytime using essential oil, we really want people to pay attention. Like, hey, when we don't have the way to test for these essential oil, make sure you check with the manufacturers to make sure that there's no contamination during the manufacturing process.
Right. Okay. That's so interesting to me. That was one of the biggest ones, and I was just so shocked when I learned that. Okay. Another big one, propanediol.
Propanediol, yeah. So that one is mainly just a skin irritant. So it has a strong, kind of like similar to phenoxyethanol. So if you are not allergic to it, it's generally okay. But if you trying to use on your kids, like a very sensitive person, that I would pay attention.
Okay. And then what about something sorbitol? You see that in a lot.
Yep, sorbitol you see a lot, like your dental floss, and then like a mouthwash, like even like a lot of medications you see a lot. So sorbitol is an artificial sweetener, and the part of it is also naturally occurring. The issue with sorbitol is I think that people overly use it, and then when you overly use it, say if you're trying to like not eat real sugar, thinking that eating sorbitol or artificial sweeteners can actually help you with, not spiking up your blood sugars and whatnot. But the issue is that, your brain many times figure out another way to not like getting it tricked. And there are also studies have shown artificial sweeteners can disrupt your microbiome. And your microbiome is connected with your immune function and then many other functions. So it's better to avoid. And then sorbitol have also been shown to have the biggest side effect of sorbitol is digestion issues. So, and then also it's not really tolerated well in celiac disease patients. Okay. People with celiac disease is not well tolerated.
Okay. The other one that I actually learned this because I watched your magnesium talk. And I did not know this about all the different magnesiums and how, there's certain ones for different, you use different ones for different things. Like I had no clue. I thought there was just the magnesium. You go to the store, you buy magnesium and that's it. So but magnesium stearate, is that how you say that?
Stearate, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Because what I learned is that it's really just a filler.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned so much from that talk too. It was really, really interesting. Now I want to get my magnesium tested and make sure you test the RBC magnesium, right?
Yes.
So magnesium stearate, in supplements, it's used as filler. So basically it doesn't it doesn't do any good. It's just like a cheap way of making it without the actual ingredients. But in cosmetic products, magnesium stearate is an interesting one. It actually prevents lumps in cosmetic products, so it's pretty useful. But the issue with magnesium stearate is that it is also an irritant. Not only that, it's also toxic to aquatic life. So that's why I was like, okay, if it's toxic to aquatic life, maybe we don't want to use it so much.
Yeah. Wow. It's so interesting. I'm actually going to watch that talk again because it was so informative. All right. Last one is colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver is also really interesting. So colloidal silver actually is not approved by the FDA to be safe, but I know that many sometimes naturopath medicine practitioners use it. There have been shown so silver basically it's not an essential nutrient in our body, and it actually accumulates if you ingest it. So you definitely don't want to overconsume silver because there have been there's a condition associated with overconsumption of silver that actually change your pigmentation of your skin, your organ, and in many parts, and that's permanent. And it could cause organ damage because it's also it could be think of it because it's a metal. Right. Once it's accumulate, it could cause organ damage. However, silver has actually been shown to be used as a topical. If it used as a topical, it does have some wound healing property, but not being ingested. So yeah, if you're taking that, you definitely want to consult. I would say avoid that. But the reason, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are still many things it's not proven by scientific study, the Western scientific study. I wouldn't just say, okay, ignore silver. Maybe it does have some property that's haven't been discovered, but I would pay attention, kind of like a balance out that, making sure that you're not over consuming and it actually causes accumulation. But it is by the official, proven by the FDA is that it's not approved.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Cause when I would get a sore throat, I would spray silver in my mouth. If you get a bug bite, they say that silver is good for it. And that's just it. Like that. I feel like there's just so much to learn and there's so much to, and it's not like, I don't talk to people like, just stay away from don't buy this or don't buy that. I think it's a balance, right?
It's balance.
And I feel like these companies, they have their threshold, right? So they're okay with putting certain ingredients in, and they are okay with that. And so I truly believe it is just all about balance. But I think one of the takeaways from this is that, testing is one of the best things you can do for yourself, and especially, testing your hormones to see where they're at, because honestly, if you have a hormone imbalance, it can be asymptomatic. Like you don't even, you could feel great and you can have some major thing going on inside you with your hormones that can just make everything go out of whack. And then having a test like this, just to see, I was really surprised, on these results. I mean, I know that my levels were low, which I was happy about. Oh, that is actually one question I had for you. So hair products. I know the one product that I used was not the healthiest. However, I didn't put it on my scalp. I only put it on my ends. So is there a difference? Does it matter?
So if you put it on your scalp, obviously, because it's more permeable, so you would have more permeated into your skin and go through your body. So on your hair is less. But then if you think about why you're applying to it, you're also touching it, right? So your skin would also have that exposure. So I would say limit the use when you can.
Okay.
But I wouldn't stress out about it.
How quickly does our skin absorb these ingredients when we're just, putting them on our skin?
I think they absorb rather quickly. And there are also other ingredients that's added to the formulation to increase the penetration. So in this case, that, one kind of like one example is the when people apply hand sanitizer and then they touch receipt first and then they thought it would clean it up and then using hand sanitizer, except that hand sanitizer not only have fragrance added and then also this other ingredient that increase the penetration. And then, by touching a BPA coated receipt paper, you're literally getting the double whammy. Like not only the fragrance and then you have this and then it just penetrates more. But I think the good thing is if you pay attention, you actually eliminate, and if you pay attention, you avoid your sources, your body will actually eliminate these chemicals within about 48 hours, which is really, really encouraging. So that's why we really encourage people to understand your baseline levels so you can start making changes, then you can get rid of these chemicals.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. 48 hours. That's awesome. Because I have some friends who, have their favorite products and they're like, listen, when I want to start, when I get pregnant, that's when I'm going to get rid of all my favorite products. But that is very good to know that, in a couple of days, you can actually rid yourself because our body does not make mistakes, right? And our body is constantly working to get rid of these toxins and, to try to just make you, be healthy. So, I love that. That's so interesting. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions like, what are the changes that you think you're going to be making?
Oh, well, I'm getting rid of all these products. So I'm currently just getting rid of my products, and it's not, they're not bad products, right? They're not, but I have an issue right now with, I'm having a little bit of a hormone issue. And so I truly just want to be as simplistic as possible. And I want to, now that I'm aware of these ingredients, I can go now and purchase products that don't have these ingredients in it. And so I'm just currently watching, the products that I'm putting on myself and and I love in the report, the whole thing, and it's really hard, but, with the whole food thing and, getting my pizzas, that come in boxes and the plastic wrap and the, so that on the report is so interesting as well. And, I love that you give replacement ideas and things like that. But just from this report alone, it's really going to help me change, the products that I'm purchasing and just the way that I, am handling my food, even the receipts. I'm just going to say, email me that receipt. I'm not going to touch it.
You're our ideal customer. Like we literally want everyone to make these changes. Can you imagine if everyone making these changes, then, eventually we're going to send a signal to all the manufacturers, then there won't be bad product, then everybody wins. Exactly.
Yep. I totally agree. All right. So, I don't have any more questions for you. I actually, and I didn't even put all of the products that I used that day on here. So I actually would like to take the test again and, put everything on there. Cause there's some products that I just didn't put in there cause I'm just like, oh no, they're good, so I would actually like to do the test again, and, put, all the products that I use because there's just so much like that journal. You can put so much in there, which is amazing. Like you can literally put everything that you ingest, what you put on your skin the entire day. And it makes you realize too, when you're doing that, how much you are putting in on your body. Like it's so much a day. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one part. I guess it's, kind of like two sides. One is, yes, it takes a long time to actually put in the effort to entering all your products. But at the same time, you kind of feel like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of products. Like, how can I actually simplify my life a little bit, use less products so that I actually get less exposure?
Yes. And I swear, I think that is key. The less ingredients, the better. And even when you look at food, you look at that label and it's like 30 ingredients, and really like just give me that's why they say it's so much better. Just don't even eat the processed stuff, right?
Right.
Just eat the fruits and veggies. But yeah, so I'm definitely from this test, I'm definitely more aware of the products I'm using and just my everyday exposure to everything. So I thank you for coming out with this test that is just so good. And again, this test isn't just for people trying to conceive. This test is great for anybody who just wants to see what their toxic load is that they're taking in every day. And if you want to change your lifestyle and just be healthier, this test is amazing.
Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for being transparent and share all your experience and your products and asking these great questions.
Absolutely. Well, you have a wonderful day, and I'm sure we will be speaking again.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. And then be sure to follow Jennifer at Beauty in the Brain. So we'll make sure and all her information is in the link in bio.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.